What's so magic about Canva's new design features? We'll talk about a few of them today. Speaking of design features, Google has added a small one, just an eyedropper, but I'm really excited about it. Also, in all my talk about ChatGPT, I haven't taken much time to address Google's AI efforts. What do they have going on? And another Merrills Microsoft Minute. Welcome into episode 19 of the EdTech News Brief. I'm your host, Jake Miller. This is the show where, as the title says, I tell you about the EdTech news and I keep it brief. This is episode 19. It's the end of March, and I've got some EdTech news to share with you today. On March 23rd, Canva hosted their second annual Canva Create event, and this one was similar to last year's, packed with a lot of improvements that were announced. I'm going to share a few of them in today's episode and save the rest for the next few episodes. We'll kind of spread out the Canva goodness. If you're in a rush to learn more, though, I've got the blog post and YouTube video of the events in the notes. The first new feature that Canva announced is Magic Design. This uses AI, artificial intelligence, to help you get the design process going. I love this because I often start a design with very little in my head about what I want something to look like, but once I see an idea that excites me, then my creative juices start flowing, and I don't need any help, I just go. Magic Design is like that. It probably won't be one-click design creation, but it will get you into the design flow much faster by giving you a collection of quality starter ideas. You'll start by going to the Templates page in Canva, then selecting Magic Design. Then you'll want to select what kind of template you're looking for, an Instagram post, a doc, a video, and others. Then you'll click to upload an image or other media. It'll start magic designing right away, but you can also customize the style you're looking for with different vibes or themes and different color palettes and different fonts. You can also change the headline that appears on your graphic, and then once you pick one that you like, you can click it to start customizing it. I will say this feature has been a little bit clunky in my experience so far. When you use it, you'll see text along the bottom that says, "This technology is new and improving. Please report these templates if they don't seem right." Well, I tried this out with a picture of my book and a picture of a taco, and both times it created wedding invitations, a birthday party invitation, real estate open houses, and other odd assets. I do love my book and I do love tacos, but marrying them? No, it does feel a little bit like when people say, if you love tacos so much, why don't you marry them? But no, it's just the AI learning. So we give it feedback. No, pictures of tacos should not lead to wedding invitations, and then it'll get better over time. At Canva Create, Canva also announced Magic Presentations. This specific kind of magic design uses artificial intelligence to create a presentation for you. What? Isn't that crazy? So, like all other AI tools, it won't create something that's perfect, but it will help you get the creative juices flowing. Just start a presentation, go to the Design tab on the left, and click Magic Design. You'll give it a few words to describe your presentation, and it'll whip up a selection of presentations complete with outlines, slides, and content, actual content on the slides. After you select the one you want, you could then open it up and start customizing a design by adding your content. And you'll see as soon as you do it, some of it where you'll be like, yeah, this is exactly what I want in my presentations, and others where you'll be like, this is kind of an odd choice to include here. Does your school district have a one-to-one technology program? Are you struggling to manage your district IT assets in a spreadsheet? It's kind of like keeping straight my kids' soccer, baseball, theater, basketball, and choir performances and making sure you're in the right places every night. Except it's not you and your children, it's thousands of Chromebooks. You can't keep them straight. If you're tasked with managing thousands of Chromebooks or other IT assets like projectors and smartboards and other smart displays, you'll want to check out Vizor. Vizor is a Chromebook and IT asset management solution designed specifically for school districts. Vizor, that's V-I-Z-O-R, seamlessly integrates with the Google Admin Console and your student information system. It fits in so well, it's like peanut butter and chocolate, right? With Vizor, not quite as good as a Reese cup, but Vizor's amazing. With Vizor, you can easily see which student has which device, manage repairs, and streamline device checkout with barcodes. The team at Vizor, again, V-I-Z-O-R, are offering listeners a free signed copy of my book, Educational Duct Tape. Just attend a no-obligation demo of Vizor, and they'll send a book your way. To find out more about Vizor and get that free copy of Educational Duct Tape, go to vizor.cloud/Jake. That's vizor.cloud/Jake, or click the link in the show notes. Hey, I just got to delete a Chrome extension. What good news? I've been using an Eyedropper Chrome extension for years to make sure colors are matching up really nicely on slides, drawings, and docs. But now I don't have to do that because Google added an Eyedropper tool into Google Slides and Docs and Sheets and Drawings. Just click the tool, click an area on your screen, and then bam, you've got that color. You could also use RGB values or hex codes to select colors if you know them. But man, the Eyedropper is so smooth and so easy. You should already have this feature in your Google accounts now, and it's on all versions of Google accounts. You know what it's time for, right? Planning out the books that we're going to read during summer break? Oh yeah, you got to start planning early, right? Well, I believe that Educational Duct Tape, an EdTech integration mindset, is the perfect summer read. And not just because I wrote it. Hear me out. Do you want to sit poolside reading hyper-serious books with a citation in parentheses at the end of each sentence? No, of course you don't. Your summer reading experience should be one that you enjoy, and I think that Educational Duct Tape has the potential to be that book. Check out this Amazon review from Nikki Brewer. This book gives tons of easy-to-use technology tools and practical advice on how to use each one in a classroom. She continues, it includes lots of funny stories along the way, so it felt more like listening to a person tell a story than just reading an edutech book. Sounds like a poolside read to me, doesn't it? Up next, we've got the Merrills Microsoft Minute with Joe Merrill. What do you got for us today, Joe?
If you're a math teacher, you're going to want to see this app, Microsoft Math Solver. This app offers support for math situations, all by simply using the device's camera. Here, we're going to scan a math problem. Once it's scanned, Microsoft will intelligently offer several different suggestions. It'll even offer solution steps for how you can solve, going step by step by step. But wait, it gets even better. Microsoft will also share different resources and videos where students can watch to learn more on how to correctly solve it the next time around. And one more thing to note here, now this app is actually available right within the Microsoft Edge browser. Check out the show notes below with a link to learn more.
Hey, don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, click the thumbs up to tell me thanks, click subscribe, and ring that notifications bell. If you're listening to the podcast, don't forget to follow the show or subscribe if that's what your app says. And if you have a moment, please submit a review. As Ricky Bobby once said, if you're not first, you're last. Google is not fazed by that advice, though, as they were third, or maybe worse, depending on how you count, to make an announcement relating to an AI chatbot. Now, in their defense, Google was a pioneer in AI and has done a lot of work relating to the language models that AI depends on, but they haven't released much that's user-facing. Yeah, they've been keeping it under wraps for years while they did tons of work in this space. Then the rug was kind of swept out from underneath them when OpenAI released ChatGPT. So they clearly felt the pressure after the ChatGPT and Bing AI buzz and have started making some moves of their own. In February, they held a big old virtual event to launch, well, not much, actually. They did take the opportunity to show off some new Google Maps and Google Search features and updates, which do, in their defense, involve AI. They shared the new immersive view in Google Maps, which is like VR meets Streets View meets Google Earth, and it's pretty rad. Next, they told us about Live View and Search, which uses AI and augmented reality to help us navigate the spaces we're in. It overlays Google's wealth of information, which way to Starbucks, where's the restroom, over what your phone camera is actually seeing at that moment. So you could see the way to those different locations just by looking at your phone and seeing live into where you're actually walking. This is only out for limited big cities at this point, but it's really cool. Now, those two items, both really, really cool stuff, but all anyone really wanted to hear about was their ChatGPT and Bing AI search competitor, Google Bard. Like, how is Google going to bring AI to search in a way that's noticeable for users? And they did share about it at that launch, kind of. Bard is an AI-enhanced version of Google Search that uses generative AI to summarize content from the web. At the time of that live event, users like us were unable to actually use Bard. That has changed, and we'll get into that in a moment. But first, at the time of the event, their demo showed this new tool, and it showed it making a mistake. In the video in the demo, the user searches for, what new discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope can I tell my 9-year-old about? And it shows a really cool way of how it responds with some bullet-pointed answers. But one of those was an incorrect statement saying it took the very first pictures of a planet outside of our own solar system. It did not. It was not first. So let this be yet another reminder. Chatbots have a tendency to be confidently wrong. We need to teach our students about this. They call this phenomenon hallucinating, and it happens because artificial intelligence is essentially auto-completing sentences on the fly based on what it predicts to be the next word in the sentence. Later, on March 21st, Google made Bard available for some users to test drive. I'll put a link to the waitlist in the show notes. I'm still waiting for my access, but maybe you've already got it. Who knows? When you do finally access it, you'll see an alert that it says it's just an experiment, as Google tends to name things, that it's not always right, and that it should not replace search. In fact, it says, when in doubt, use the Google it button to check Bard's responses. As educators, we need to keep this in mind and teach our students how to interact with tools like these. Google has been really careful with word selection and other venues too, mentioning that it's meant to help people and that we should collaborate with it. They clearly want us to know that it's a tool, not a replacement to human thought, not a replacement to Google search, and that it needs to be fact-checked. In fact, they provide that Google it button I mentioned under every response it gives, prompting us to extend our query with a regular old Google search. Again, though, there's no guarantee that things on the internet are accurate either, but a little bit easier to vet than an AI tool's response. When you or your students do get the chance to use it, you'll find that it gives different responses, what it calls drafts, to each of your queries. Reports indicate that the responses don't differ very much, but I think it's a plus that it's avoiding implying that it's giving you one definitive answer. Before moving on from this topic, I do want to point out an article from The Verge. In the article, The Verge evaluated the 3 big names in AI chatbots, ChatGPT, Bing, and Google Bard, and found that Bard was the worst of the 3. You can learn about the testing in the link that I provided. To quote the post directly, it says, if you're looking to accomplish verbal tasks, whether creative writing or inductive reasoning, then try ChatGPT. If you're looking for a chatbot to use as an interface with the web to find sources and answer questions you might otherwise have turned to Google for, then head over to Bing. And if you are shorting Google stock and want to reassure yourself you've made the right choice, try Bard. Ouch. So yeah, they're pretty low on Bard right now. By the way, I have not covered Microsoft's Bing yet. I'll touch on that in the next episode. Also in this post, they were using GPT-4 when they were talking about using ChatGPT, which I covered in the previous episode of this show. And now ChatGPT has some plugins, including one that allows it to search the web too, which I'll cover in an upcoming episode. And finally, as you all know, the way that I cap off every episode is with a dad joke straight from the world's greatest dad jokes, the complete collection, over 500 cringeworthy puns and one-liners book. So let me share one with you from a random page here. This is so bad. What do you call a bullfighter with a rubber toe? Roberto. What? Wow. Okay. I normally try to work that into my clothing. I don't know how to work that into my clothing. Well, Roberto, I really appreciate you tuning in. I hope to be back again next week, and I really hope that you and your rubber toe will be back again too. I'd really appreciate it if you do those awesome things like rating or reviewing the show on Apple Podcasts, liking or subscribing to the show on YouTube, following the podcast in your favorite app, and of course, sharing this episode. Bye, everybody.